What's happening, Internet fam? So I had a hearing this morning with the defendant, Mrs. Garcia, the biological mother of my children, Everett and Grace. I haven't done a status update for a long time, and a lot of people have a lot of questions and have been hitting me up via social media and email and text, etc., asking me what's going on with my case, where we're at, what's happening. So what's happening is, after making me move from Oregon to California, making the children lose their farm, making me lose my jobs, making me spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in courtrooms, and then making me move from California to Hawaii, at which point I actually lived in my car for a little bit due to the arduous economic factors of having to move state to state to state, lose jobs, etc. And of course, don't forget that when I had a job, the state of California was robbing me of 95% of my salary. They call that back child support. After 2 years here in Hawaii, I have totally established myself. I've started one very successful small business, and I'm involved in 2 other successful small businesses now. Obviously, I have a place to live. I'm able to feed myself. I'm able to take care of my health and everything else. And just to remind you that when I first moved to Hawaii, I was 42 years old. So I'm a 42-year-old man who was forced to live in his car, unemployed, and unable to keep 95% of his salary, just so I could see my own children. And a reminder, I have no criminal record of any kind. I don't do any kind of drugs. I don't drink too much. I don't do anything like that. The only thing I've got is a couple of parking tickets. And as a reminder that the defendant got a restraining order against me in San Diego with a judge, Jim Wood, who was personal friends with her father. And of course, that restraining order was largely based on Facebook memes that I did not create. And now the defendant wants to move again away from Hawaii, in which case I'd be forced to give up all of my businesses, I'd fire all of my employees, break contract with all of my clients, and probably end up living in a car again for an extended amount of time, while I try to get my feet back under me and also build a new business in order to survive, because I can't be an employee, because then the state of California will take 95% of my wages. And now the defendant wants to move again to Hawaii. I'm sorry, out of Hawaii, back to California. Keep in mind that mine and my children's civil rights and basic human rights have been being violated for over 4 years already. And I have never been accused of any type of crime whatsoever. I mean, unless you count distasteful Facebook memes, which I did not create, or in one case, even post. Somebody else posted it to my wall. At the hearing today, the judge quickly scheduled a continuance for May 11th, giving me less than 2 weeks to prepare a defense against the defendant, who's been abusing me and my children for over 4 years. Now, my primary argument is that there isn't a jury of my peers, therefore the entire thing is invalid, as according to the 6th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, you are afforded to a speedy trial with a jury of your peers. Now, the judge is claiming that that doesn't have relevance in this case because this is family court and a civil matter. But once again, my children and I's inalienable human rights have been being violated for 4 years. So that's hardly civil, that's criminal. And the Constitution doesn't say, oh, you have a right to a jury of your peers unless it's just a matter between you and your ex-wife. That's not in the 6th Amendment for a very good reason. Because as clearly shown by the shenanigans that have already gone in family court, both in Oregon, California, and in Hawaii, maybe again in California in the future. I don't know if they're going to succeed in getting this move away order. My rights have been violated and my children's rights have been violated because there's not a jury of my peers to put a stop to it. Now, if you have any ideas on how I can attack this legally, I'm interested. I'm all ears. I'm out here fighting by myself. I've already spent $300,000 on lawyers, to the point where I was actually forced to live in a vehicle for a little while. So really, I'm just asking for legal help, legal advice, anything. First of all, I should be able to record every single hearing. It's very clear to me that my rights have been violated. It's very clear to me that my children's rights have been violated. So I want to be able to record the evidence for that occurring. Not just for myself, but for every single parent in this country that is facing the similar kind of torture that is parental alienation. So please, if you have any ideas on how to legally attack the family court, make them allow me to record every hearing, first of all. Make them allow me to ensure that I have a jury of my peers to protect me and my children. And ultimately, just make them follow the tenets of basic human rationality, reason, and human rights. Any advice, thoughts, anything like that are more than welcome. Please contribute comments, please. And if anything you provide me with helps Everett and Grace in any way, I am willing to incentivize that. I work, I have money, I can pay you for your help. Within reason, because realize I've already spent $500,000 in this legal battle with Mrs. Garcia. And to Everett and Grace, I am so sorry. I've been fighting tooth and nail as your father this entire time. And I'm also sorry that I had to spend all of your inheritance on this legal battle with Mrs. Garcia, who has been intentionally and purposefully and relentlessly and religiously torturing all three of us. And of course, my extended family, the children's grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. The kids haven't seen any of them in 5 years. But I'm sure the court's going to say, oh, that's in the best interest of the children, which is what they have done over and over and over again. Oh, yeah, it's in the best interest of the children, and you're out of here. Never mind the myriad evidence of malfeasance by the defendant and the simple fact that she hasn't allowed me to see the children hardly at all for the last 4 years, or the fact that her father somehow arranged it to have a corrupt judge handle the hearing in San Diego. Once again, I'm talking about Judge Jim Wood. So again, Internet fam, I'm fighting tooth and nail. I'm going to continue to fight tooth and nail by all means, every means possible, but I need to be able to record these hearings, and I need to somehow demand a jury of my peers, because there is no way 12 of my peers are going to say, here's a guy who's never committed any crime of any kind. What about those parking tickets, you naughty, naughty boy? Okay, forget about the parking tickets. And I, and more importantly, my children have had their basic human rights violated harshly for the last 5 years. We're going on 5 years now. Thanks, Internet fam. I love you all. Have a beautiful day.